You don't have to visit a fairy tale to see gorgeous towns like this. You just have to visit Germany. These towns look so beautiful, as if they existed in a fairy tale dream. Join me as we take a look at 8 of the most gorgeous European fairy tale towns. Hey there, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, kindly hit the subscribe button to stay up to date with all of our contents. Number 1. Kitzbühel, Austria. Located on the Kitzbühel-Aca River in the Central Eastern Alps in Austria is the small medieval town of Kitzbühel, which is probably best known in modern times as a premier ski destination, but also looks as if it's leaped straight out of the pages of a fairy tale book. The earliest signs of people living in the region date as far back as 3,000 years ago and was also ruled by the Roman Empire during its expansion across the Alps. But it was in the 13th century, when the small town became a part of Upper Bavaria, that it underwent a period of expansion. At that time, defensive walls were built, and over the following centuries, Gothic architecture became one of its defining features. Due to its remote location, Kitzbühel avoided the wars that ravaged nearby regions, and this meant that many ancient buildings were able to survive, and newly built structures were done so in the same style. On particular note was St. Catherine's Church, which was built in the mid-12th century, as well as Christ Church, which was built in 1962, and the Dance Café, which was built in 1928. Despite being a mixture of old and new, there are now strict rules on the outer facades of all structures that must incorporate locally sourced materials and feature wooden roofs and pastel-colored exteriors. Number 2. Gruyère, Switzerland. Probably most known for being the place where the cheese comes from, the Swiss town of Gruyère is steeped in history, and with quaint buildings and more than 800-year-old castle, you'll feel as if there's a mystery to be uncovered around every corner. Built atop a hill that overlooks the Sun River Valley, there's always a population of 1,000 or 2,000 people who mainly rely on agriculture. Ruins of a nearby Roman villa, as well as Iron Age grave sites, show that people have lived there for a long time. But it was when the castle was first built in the late 12th century to control the valley below that the village became established. With a need for workers to support the castle, Gruyère began to develop in its shadows, and it soon became a vibrant market town. Then this can be seen to this day in all directions, with houses and buildings still in line with the traditional architectural designs. Having seen numerous rulers and counts over the years, all of whom were recorded in the archives of the castle, this is surely the place you'd expect to stop at for a meal while you're on your way to rescue a princess. Number 3. Rothenburg, Germany. The incredible town of Rothenburg ob die Taube is in Bavaria in Germany, and it's one of the best preserved medieval old towns in the country. It's also one of the only 3 that still have their historical city walls and relies so heavily on tourism because of its unique setting that it's part of Germany's romantic road theme route, which itself is based on the original trade route through the region. Originally founded in 1170 to support the newly built Stauffer Castle, parts of the original development can still be seen today. It was soon declared a free imperial city, which allowed the rulers of the town to operate independently from the wider country. And even though large parts were destroyed by an earthquake in 1356, most of it was rebuilt. There was a similar reconstruction period following the Second World War, during which almost half of the town was destroyed, but all structures were designed to replicate, or at least in the same style as the original designs, which is why it still retains its medieval vibe today. Undoubtedly feeling like a fairy tale town, Rothenburg boasts a pedigree like no other. This was the town that served as the inspiration for the setting of Disney's 1940 movie Pinocchio, and it was also used as a location in the final 2 Harry Potter movies. Number 4. Mostar, Bosnia and Herzegovina. The city of Mostar is the 5th biggest in Bosnia and Herzegovina and lies on the picturesque Neretva River that runs through it. From the first moment you see the old bridge that crosses the waterway, you can tell that this is a special place and one that almost seems like time forgot. The bridge itself was built by the Ottomans in the 16th century and is a stunning example of Islamic architecture from the time. Once described as being like a rainbow soaring up into the skies, it's the most visited and recognizable landmark of the city. But unfortunately, the one that's there isn't actually the original. It did stand for more than 400 years and would be there today if it wasn't for its destruction by the Pro-Asian Defense Council in the 1990s during the Bosnian War. A replica was built in 2005 though, which was faithful and made with exactly the same materials and to the same specifications as the original. There are plenty of other historic monuments in the city too though, that have stood the test of time. There are the remains of a Christian basilica, a clock tower, a more than 130-year-old synagogue, a lavish palace, and a mosque from the 16th century that completes the historical feel to Mostar and has a vista that would be at home on the cover of a storybook. Number 5. Igosheim, France. Located within the Alsace region of northeastern France, the small commune of Igosheim is exactly what you'd expect from a medieval encampment in the country. Surrounded by vineyards and often voted as one of the most beautiful villages in France, a castle was first built there in the 11th century, and other buildings to support it soon followed. Arranged in concentric circles around the castle, the streets are paved with cobbles and lined with brightly colored houses with traditional pointed roofs and timber frame construction. There are still the fountains and courtyards that were installed hundreds of years ago, and a small church that had its original 13th century opening virgin. Walking through the town, you'll feel the whispers of the past all around you and stumble upon hidden messages and codes that have been etched into the wooden frames of the buildings. Whether these are examples of medieval graffiti or ancient riddles, no one can be sure, but it does add to the mystique of the place. While the town is fairy tale-like throughout the year, it truly comes into its own around Christmas time when it's covered in snow and lit up with the annual decoration. The rustic charm and architecture mean you'll almost be certain that the Brothers Grimm must have passed through and seen it for themselves at some point. Number 6. Bled, Slovenia. Set on the side of a glacial lake which freezes all the way over each winter, Bled is a medieval town in northwestern Slovenia and one of the most picturesque places in the whole country. History. Despite there being a human presence there for centuries, the town, as it is today, began taking shape in the 19th century and has become an idyllic mountain refuge. From Bled Castle, which dates back to more than 1,000 years and still stands on a precipice overlooking the lake, to the small island at the center of the lake, which is home to the Assumption of Mary Pilgrimage Church. Not only does the town attract tourists from far and wide because of its stunning architecture and historical importance, but also because the pure waters have led it to becoming known as a wellness resort town. There's a thermal spring that feeds 2 of the resort's swimming pools, but the lake itself reaches warm enough levels to swim in during the summer. In winter, though, the lake brings the focus back to Bled's fairy tale-like qualities, because as it becomes covered in ice, it's used for skating. It also means that the island is accessible by foot, rather than being forced to row there by a wooden boat. Number 7. Ghent, Belgium. Situated in Flemish region of Belgium, Ghent is the 3rd largest city in the country. And while you certainly could spend your entire time there in the more modern outer suburbs, the old town part of the city stays true to its historical roots. It's actually been a region inhabited by people since the Stone Age and Iron Age, but despite it being used by the Romans, Ghent itself first began to develop in 650 with the construction of 2 abbeys, which can still be visited today. Rapid expansion during the 11th century saw it become larger than Cologne and Moscow by the 13th century, with more than 65,000 residents within the city walls, and the towers that the St. Pavo Cathedral and St. Nicholas's Church were built around that time. These and the Grevenstein Castle set the scene for Ghent's beauty and are complemented by other medieval buildings in the old town, which truly make you feel as if you step back through time as you explore the twists and turns of the car-free streets. If you ever visit, there's no bad time to be in Ghent, but truly, to savor its charm, choose a time when one of the city's many festivals is taking place. It's for these that the buildings are dressed and return to their former glory. Number 8. Positano, Italy. The Amalfi Coast in Italy has been inspiring people for thousands of years, with evidence of communities dating back to prehistoric times. The region is dotted with small encampments and towns, but perhaps the most impressive is the village of Positano. It's within an enclave in the hills and leads down towards the coastline, and it's the way that all the multicolored buildings sit across the landscape that makes it such a picture-perfect place. There are a number of archaeological sites of Roman ruins, but it's the buildings left over from the village's heyday between the 15th and 17th centuries that have left their mark and given it such a special feeling. During this time, it became a market port built around the Church of Santa Maria Assunta, where there's a 13th century Byzantine depiction of the Madonna that was, according to legend, stolen by sailors who experienced such a terrible weather condition that they were forced to give their prize to the villages of Positano as they passed by. In the 19th and 20th century, the town became a small, poor fishing village but retained its quaint charm. Its resurgence as a tourist destination is thanks in part to author John Steinbeck, who wrote in 1953 that it's a dream place that isn't quite real when you're there and becomes beckoningly real after you've gone. Well, that will be all from here today. Ensure you hit the like and subscribe button to catch us on latest releases we bring to your eyes. Till then, bye.